Hi folks, Johnny Fuel here, and I'm going to talk about 5 things I hate about my Tenere 700. And here's the bike. One of those things that I hate is the rear brake. Now it's a progressive brake, a disc brake, but it just doesn't have a lot of stopping power. It does work, like I said, it is progressive, so if you really push on it, it'll stop you. But the front brake is excellent, the back brake just isn't as good. Second is the fuel gauge. So I have a full tank now, but the fuel gauge here is really strange. It stays at full for a long time. Then it seems to drop fairly quickly. And then at about 140 miles or so, it's on E, the last sliver here. And at about 150 miles, it starts to blink. The empty light blinks, and then the odometer counts up. It's really pretty silly because I actually have, I tested it and I can go about 217 miles on a tank. So when it starts to blink at you at 150, you still have a quarter of a tank. You know, it can make you worried, but you have plenty to go, and yet it's blinking at you. The other thing I don't like is the fuel cap. Let's take a look at that. Move my bag out of the way. So the fuel cap here, it's a locking cap, but it's not hinged, so it comes right off. Not a big deal maybe, but it's a little bit of a nuisance because you have to set it down somewhere, and it'd be nice to have it hinged. So the fuel cap's a little silly in that respect. The other thing about it is it sits up here kind of bulky, and as you can see, it has worn its way right through my tank bag. This padded area, it has just worn a hole right through it. Maybe not a big deal. That's probably part of the reason it's there. I could even reinforce it in some way, but that's a little silly. I think that it worked a hole right through the back of the tank bag just from the vibration and such. I have not yet taken this bike on a very long trip, so this seems to be pretty much premature wear. It'll wear through quite a bit once I go on a lengthy trip. Another thing that I hate about the Tenere 700 is the windscreen. What you're seeing here is actually an aftermarket windscreen I put up, but the original windscreen was quite a bit shorter. It barely cleared a little bit above the nav bar, and I didn't find it adequate. For a lot of riding it was okay, but when you were on the highway and you were around other vehicles, there was quite a bit of buffeting. I thought the buffeting was too much. So this is an aftermarket windscreen. It's a few inches higher. It definitely clears the top of the navigation unit. The factory windscreen, it looks cool. It's kind of a rally style, but it just wasn't as good for riding around town and everything. It was fine on certain types of days where there wasn't a lot of wind or traffic. You could ride at highway speeds okay, but I found when it was windy or when you're around trucks and things on the highway, there was a lot of buffeting, and that can kind of wear you out quickly. I didn't like that, so I bought this a little bit taller windscreen. The last thing I'll mention that I hate about the Tenere 700 is the stock seat. So it wasn't terrible, but I found that after riding for a day, I don't know, the grip and the way, the way you sat on it, at least for me, I found to be to kind of wear me out a little bit. I bought this seat concept seat, and at the time I bought this, they did not sell the whole seat pan kit, just the foam and cover. So I went to an upholstery shop and had them put it on. Just because I was worried I'd probably screw it up. And there's a little bit more surface area here. I haven't taken on a long trip, but I've had good luck with seat concept seats in the past, so I think I'll be happy with that.